Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
That's it. We're back. Mr. Bisping, looking good, my friend.
Not feeling good. I feel like I'm coming down with a little bit of flu, but that's a story for another day. But I appreciate the compliment, Lewis. Busy weekend. Just got back in Phoenix yesterday. I'm assuming you watched the fights. Did you watch the fights, or are we going to pretend?
No, first of all, I've never fucking pretended a day in my life, and that's why the people love me, okay? The people love me. That's the other thing, all right? I know there's been a misconception recently that people hate me. The people that listen to this show love me. That's who fucking loves me. Here's what happens. People take clips of the show, they put it on MMA News or one of these other things, and then these people, I get dropped into their life. They're trying to get MMA news from Michael Bisping, and I get it. I understand their perspective. They listen to this clip, and they have this loudmouth asshole just interrupting you with dumb jokes every fucking other minute. So from their perspective, they didn't tune in for this shit. They're not here for this show. They're go, oh, Michael Bisping is talking about this thing. They want that. But I want those people to know they can go fuck themselves. I don't care about you, fucking pussy-ass casual MMA fan. I'm not here for you. I'm here for the fans of the fucking show. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
I was going to say, it sounds like that's been pent-up aggression, harboring these feelings for a long time, Lewis, because all I did was just say one comment and away you went on a tirade of abuse. My word, Lewis. Tell us how you really feel. Tell us what is at the root of the problem. What is going on? What is going on?
I just looked at you recapping your experience in the Joe Rogan. This is what happened. I just watched this morning. I was like, oh, this is you talking about you going on Joe Rogan on our show. And every comment on that clip, I mean, I'm talking about, pull it up. Pull up the comments, actually, Harrington. You're going to love it, Mike. You should read the comments.
I knew there was something because I'm like, whoa. I mean, we didn't discuss this. We didn't talk about this. But you just, as I say, you went into a tirade of abuse. I was like, is everything okay at home? Is there something the matter? Something that we need to talk about? Something you need to get off your chest, Lewis? And it turns out it's just YouTube comments. My word, Lewis, you got to toughen up, my brother. You got to toughen up because YouTube
they
comments,
really got me.
You cannot allow them to affect your emotions, my friend. But let's take a look.
Let's see. Let's read them.
Bisping needs to leave this clown behind. Absolute tit. He's English. Not funny. Irritating. I'd listen to Bisping all day long if it wasn't for this mug. Can't stomach him. Honestly, Lewis, I see no problem with that comment.
Keep on going. Read more.
Oh,
I'd pay $50 to see Joe spinning back kick Luis Gomez for 3 minutes.
So would I. I would definitely pay good money to see that. That was kind of gross how Lewis made a big deal about his name on a podcast he wasn't even on.
I was kidding. I was kidding, you stupid cunts. I was kidding.
Everybody knows how cunty it is that you insist on the J, Lewis. That is not a kidding. That is not a joke. You are not being funny. You're serious. Luis Gomez, bloody tit. Lewis sucks dong. Get a new guy.
Who the fuck is Luis Gomez? Luis Gomez, bloody tit. And by the way, we haven't skipped one comment. This isn't like we're trying to find the shitty comments. This is just straight down what the comments are on this video. The most intriguing thing about Luis Gomez is that Joe Rogan calls him Luis Gomez.
Hey, you got to admit that's pretty funny. And I got to say, listen, here's me throughout my life thinking that the clientele of the YouTube comment section were a weird, lonely, sad, vile group. But these actually seem to be switched on, collected, smart individuals. I have no issue with what I'm seeing. They get it. They know what's up.
They get it. They completely get it.
No, a lot of people do say things like that, but you got to realize that this show, you know, come on, it's a two-man show. It is not a one-man show. It's a two-man show. So there you go, Lewis. Does that make you happy? I got you back, buddy.
No, it doesn't make me happy. Do the show with Shannon from now on. You and Shannon just twisting her fucking hair around her dumb fingers.
What would you like me to do? How can I make this better?
I want you to fight everybody on YouTube.
It's a lot of people.
How many
lot of people.
YouTube commenters do you think you could take at the same time?
Well, judging by the fact that they mostly live in their mum's basement, they don't have a girlfriend, they're all virgins. They all sound like Luis J. Gomez. Yeah, I could take a few. I could take a few of you. So if they're all like you, then we could go on all day, buddy.
All right.
All right, enough randomness.
It did really bother me. Just so you know.
It does, but no, it is bothering. And for everyone, listen, the show wouldn't be here if it weren't for Lewis. It was Lewis's idea. It's Lewis's network. Okay, I bring the jokes, I bring the entertainment, and I'm what you're really here for. But it was Lewis's idea. So, unfortunately, he gets to stick around because of that idea.
I'm an idea guy, motherfuckers. Just understand that.
He was the first guy to think of a podcast. No one had ever done that.
That's right. That's right. And also, I did watch the fights, to answer your question. I was in Toronto. I did a show. I got it to Canada. I'm back, bitch. Canada's happening. Me and you are coming back to Toronto March 10th. Tickets available right now, Ticketmaster.com. I'm very excited for this. And we're going to start putting together your, what is this even called? How would we describe this?
It's an evening with Michael Bisping, hosted by Luis J. Gomez. Luis is going to say some funny things. I'm going to tell some stories, and we're going to entertain you all. And then at the end, maybe you can ask some questions and get to know us and hang out with us a little bit. Something like that. We're yet to fine tune it. We're going to start writing it this week. We have an idea what we're doing, of course, but we're just going to, as I say, fine tune it this week. So please, if you're in the area, come check that out. March 10th, as Luis said, available from Ticketmaster.com. And then we're taking it everywhere. We're going to do a UK tour. We're going to go all over the world, baby. But we'll talk about that nearer the time. But yeah, the weekend in Phoenix, massive fight. I mean, Cain Velasquez taking on Francis Ngannou. Cain coming back after 3 years, all the injuries coming back, and it seemed like a bad matchup for Francis Ngannou because he got out wrestled by Stipe, and Cain is supposedly, according to Daniel Cormier and a lot of people, and myself included, one of, if not the best heavyweight that they had in the UFC. And I mean, talk about an anticlimax, Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. I mean, it was 26 seconds is all it took. And I talked about this on the post-fight show. It was such a contrast of emotions because on one part of me, I thought, wow, this is incredible. Look at what Francis Ngannou just did. One punch, one cheeky little short uppercut in the clinch against the fence, and it folded Velasquez, and it was over. The big comeback, 3 years training, sacrifice, all that over in 26 seconds. And then the flip side of it is you're going to feel bad for Cain Velasquez there. He handled himself real nice all week. I saw him a few times in the hotel. He was very approachable, very nice. Of course, trained, as I said, make all those sacrifices. You're thinking about your big comeback. You're thinking about all these potential paydays. You beat Francis Ngannou, and then maybe you get a title shot, and he's making millions of dollars again. And he fights for the first time in front of his hometown, Phoenix, Arizona. He went to college there, and he gets done in 26 seconds. Whether it was the punch, whether it was the knee, whatever it was 26 seconds. And that, as a competitor, as you know, Lewis, is very, very hard to deal with.
Sucks for everybody involved. Nobody wins there. Ngannou doesn't win. He won, but he doesn't win. That's not how he wants to win. He doesn't want there to be a big asterisk next to that victory. And in my opinion, there is. I mean, that shot. No. Carry on, and then I will come back. I'll let you get your point. Digitizing of said microphones and whatnot, but go ahead. I feel like nobody really won that night. The fans, it was so anticlimactic. It was actually reminiscent of when Cain got knocked out by Junior Dos Santos on Fox,
Which, incidentally, was the first time, first UFC fight on Fox, and this was the first UFC fight on ESPN, not ESPN Plus, the app.
Yeah.
ESPN, Cain Velasquez again, opening up huge networks.
The Cain curse.
Finished. The Cain curse is a real thing. It's almost like the Harrington curse, but not quite as bad.
The Harrington curse is every episode gets fucked up at one point with something, whether it's the YouTube upload, the editing, the fucking pulling of stuff
The Harrington curse is every time Shannon isn't here, this show goes to shit, and only half of the show gets uploaded.
I think Michael Bisping said it best.
It's true.
Yeah, so go on. Carry on with your remarkable breakdown. Because I want to hear your side, because I get it. The fans were kind of robbed to a certain degree. I mean, when Cain walked out in that place, obviously he was the hometown guy. The support, the atmosphere in the building was absolutely electric. It really was. And then that place silenced very, very quick, and everybody left. And it's always, nobody wants that. When I was fighting in London or England, Manchester, wherever, I always felt extra pressure because, it's like if you go and watch your football team, you want to leave. You want your football team to win, and then you leave elated. You're happy. Or if your football team that you're supporting, the guy that you went to support, you pay all this money for, and then they lose, you're going home a bit pissed off. So I used to feel that extra pressure. And of course, Saturday night, everybody went home kind of annoyed, unless you're from Cameroon or Paris. Right. And I hate to tell you, in Phoenix, there's not many people from Cameroon, Lewis. No,
not at all. But you see, you don't think that there's an asterisk next to the win for Ngganou? You don't think that there's a little bit, look, break down, because you were there, you're a fighter, you understood it. From my perspective as a fan, even though I watched it, me and Harrington just watched it 15 times before we started the show again, and he's trying to show me every angle how it was this big shot that did Cain in, and it wasn't his knee fucking buckling and flopping on his belly. From every angle that I saw it, it looks like the shot wasn't really what did it. It looks like he hit him, he kind of hit him. Cain has got a fucking chin of steel. He's been in wars before, and you can literally see his legs split and kind of buckle. And we can show it here. Obviously, we have to pull it out of the YouTube thing because I know the UFC has their own strict standards or whatever. But what do you think? Do you not think that this was sort of a little bit of an asterisk of a victory?
I really don't. And listen, I like Cain Velasquez. I like Francis Ngannou. I was talking to both of them a little bit this week. And, I was definitely of the opinion, may the best man win. Whoever wins it, good for them, because, they're both incredible competitors. Fight started. Of course, it went up against the fence. And it was just a short little hook, a little uppercut right to the chin. You didn't really get to see it too well. But you got to remember, Francis Ngannou isn't your average guy. He hits incredibly hard. Look what he did to Curtis Blades. Look what he did to Alistair Overeem. As DC said, they're still searching space for the head of Alistair Overeem. That was a great line, what he said. And let's take a look at it here. He goes for the single leg, right? Yeah. He goes for the single leg. Boom. Little one there and another one there. See, just back that up. Back that up. Boom. There it is. And he drops. He's got his legs wide. He gets caught with a shot and he drops. Now, hold on. There's the single. One shot. Wait for it there. I don't know what you're seeing. And listen, his legs were wide. So when he went down from the punch, it obviously looks like he did some damage to his knee there. But he wasn't limping afterwards, if I recall correctly. And I don't think he went to the hospital for his knee. So hopefully his knee's okay. Listen, it sucks for everybody. As a fan, I was tired there. I've been tired all week for some reason. But I was tired at the arena. And no matter how much coffee I consumed, I couldn't get that high energy feeling that I was looking for. And then the main event started and Francis and Cain came out. And I was like, oh, fuck that. Who needs coffee when you got natural adrenaline? You know what I mean? And I was looking forward to a real epic heavyweight fight. And it ended before it was even over. But the reality is, that's just the way it goes when you're dealing with big heavyweights. And certainly someone like Francis Ngannou, there is nobody that hits with the power of Francis Ngannou, and he doesn't need much. And we saw it there. Cain could take a punch, but boom, little shot right on the button, and he went down. And he hurt his knee. That's why he couldn't fight to a more advantageous position, or maybe he was rocked. And it was unfortunate, but it was a fair win for Francis Ngannou.
I don't think it's unfair. Look, if somebody, we've seen this happen plenty of times. Didn't the Ultimate Fighter like 10 or one of those seasons end? Nate Diaz, when he won the Ultimate Fighter, Manny Gamburian, I believe it was, he went for a shot and he had like a freak injury and hurt his rib or something. A win's a win. If you can't compete, if you get injured even shooting in for somebody and you hurt yourself, you lost that fight. It is what it is. Your body didn't do what it was supposed to do. I felt like, and maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to get an update, Harrington. I'm sure you could look up an update right now on what's going on with Cain. I would love to find out what Cain says, because I don't believe that Cain Velasquez is the type of person to make up excuses. I believe there was that one thing where he did have an injury and he never said anything about it. And like a year later, it came out that he was injured. But yeah, he's not the type of guy to make up excuses. So I'd like to know if he says that it was the injury. Go ahead, Harrington.
Yeah, he said he felt a pop in his left knee. He believes it's something in his MCL or his meniscus, but there's going to need to be further tests.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, my doctor, Dr. Moore, a great guy, knows his shit, obviously. He put on Instagram, it looks like he might have an MCL tear from the way he went down. And yeah, the way he went down was very unfortunate. And I hope that he doesn't require surgery. But he went down because of the punch. It's like, and I love you using a very, very obscure reference of Manny Gambarian from a fucking Ultimate Fighter finale from bloody 300 years ago.
What, doggy?
Let me use one that's maybe a little more, people don't have to go to Wikipedia, or maybe just a reference that people might understand.
Scott
UFC
Ferozzo.
70. UFC 70. I was to the co-main event. Mirko Cro Cop versus Gabriel Gonzaga. Gabriel Gonzaga kicked Cro Cop in the head, and he went down, and his leg kind of the same way. It was all bent back, and his knee was kind of fucked. But he went down because of the kick to the head.
Well, yes.
He didn't go down because of the knee.
That one was also a little more obvious.
Whoa. Well, I was going to say, this example is not quite as dramatic. It's not quite as clear-cut and obvious, but it's the same scenario. It really is. He got punched, he went down and blew his knee out as he went down.
Yeah. Probably.
That's what it looked like to me.
This is why I said you're the expert. You know what you're talking about more than me. It looked like such a short little shot for him to like not be able to recover from that. It seemed, but yeah, you're like I said, I always defer to you. I would never argue with you about that side of it. I just said from my perspective, and this is why I think a lot of people are saying that, is it just didn't look like a devastating shot.
And had that been Demetrius Johnson throwing that punch, or Henry Cejudo, or Dominic Cruz, or TJ Dillashaw, or anyone like that parades as a male weight class when realistically the more women's weight classes, if anybody did that from those weight classes, it wouldn't have happened. But we're talking about one of the biggest, meanest, hardest hitting motherfuckers in the world. Have you seen Francis Ngannou? Have you seen what he does to people? You don't need, I was talking about this afterwards. Could you imagine Francis Ngannou comes to the bar, gets shit-faced, and just starts losing his shit and starts street fighting people? Fuck that. I'm going to bed. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, no, most of the time I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of this shit. I'm like, nah, oh shit, I got an early flight, guys. I'm off to bed. Let him be down there in the bar committing multiple homicides, murdering several people, because that's what you're dealing with that guy if he loses his shit.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. It was over before it started. I feel bad for Cain. I do. You've got to think, and I don't know this. This is me having a conversation. There's got to be of course, Cain and DC are very good friends. And DC is the biggest advocate of Cain Velasquez, very humbly calls him the best ever heavyweight to ever do it, which when you're the champion, as I say, it's very big of DC to say that. And Cain, again, reciprocates that love and affection and brotherhood that they have. But there's got to be a little part of Cain, and this is only a normal human emotion. There's got to be a little bit of Cain that sees DC as the champion, and longs for that. I'm not saying he's envious. I'm not saying he wants to see him lose the belt, but he was there once. He was the champion, and no doubt wants to be champion again. So to go through that 3 years away, all those injuries, back injuries, then to be back. And as I say, you've seen DC now earn millions of dollars. The rumor was he got $4 million for the Derrick Lewis fight. DC's making a lot of money lately. So that's got to, as his teammate and his brother and his longtime friend, the guy was the heavyweight champion when DC came into the sport. You got to look at that and think, wow, I want that again. That is motivation for anybody. And then to come back and be destroyed or beaten or whatever circumstance you want to call it in 26 seconds, fuck, man. That's tough to deal with.
Yeah, the amount of rehab, commitment to getting back to the sport just to even get there. And then for it to also the way that it ends so anticlimactic. It's not even just a loss. Like if you fought a crazy hard fight and then lost, but then to just kind of go like, fuck, dude, 26 seconds later, you're like, I might have it. I get knocked out and now my knee might be injured. I might be out for who knows how long again. Yeah, it's gotta be scary. And look, I watch you do it in a much different way. You were very smart about sort of the way you set up things like the podcast and your other various business endeavors. You're acting, you're doing television stuff. Cain's also just not that dude. Cain's not out there. Like, I don't see him doing he's not that charismatic of a personality, or it doesn't seem as much when I've seen him on camera. So it's almost like, what the hell does Cain Velasquez do? He can't I don't know. It's just sort of a weird,
Well, for me, it was, you know, I was kind of lucky in some respects. I mean, my main fear as a professional fighter, and I say this all the time, and Dana White even said it, you know, he was thinking about being a boxer back in the day, and he didn't want to be a broke, washed up boxer, because that's what happens to most fighters, right? I hate to say it, but a lot of fighters, they go out there, they give their body, they give everything they've got, and then they're just chewed up and spat aside when they're done with, because that's business. That's the harsh reality of all businesses. Once you're no longer a commodity, once you're no longer of use, if you can't win fights, then the show moves on. And that's just the way it goes. So it always scared me. And I was lucky because obviously I had the eye injury. So I knew I was on borrowed time. I knew my career was unwinding. So that forced me to start other endeavors, to start the podcast, to start looking at acting and TV and all that type of stuff. But just going back to Velasquez, I remember Karen said something on the post-fight show. She said, oh, well, at least you lose like that, right? You know, rather than going 5 rounds. I said, no, I'd rather go 5 rounds and lose a super close fight than 26 seconds. You know, if you got to remember, it is embarrassing, but look at all that hard work that goes into that. And when you lose that quick, not that I've ever lost in the first round, Lewis. Let's just get that out there. Well, once, but whatever. Who cares? We're not counting. It's not all about me. You might as well have not bothered. You know, all that training, all that getting out of bed at 5 a.m. and going for runs, all that dieting, all that wrestling, striking, paying for training partners, coaches, flying people in, flying people to Phoenix, hotel rooms, flights, all the rest of it. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of expense for it all to be over in 26 seconds. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Probably not as tough of a pill to swallow if Cain's listening to this podcast. Jesus, we're really not. We're being so fucking hard on him right now. If he's listening to this podcast, he broke down in tears just now.
I'm not being hard on him. I'm empathizing with him. I really am. I'm putting myself in his shoes. It's like I feel for the guy. I like the guy. I'm a huge fan of the guy. Yeah. I love watching him fight. So I was so excited for that main event. As I say, it gave me such a rush of adrenaline when they were walking out. I was really looking forward to this fight. And, you know, as a Cain Velasquez fan, as a UFC fan, I wanted to see that. Yeah, and I would like to see a rematch, you know, maybe down the line, because it's like Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. That probably isn't going to happen again in 13 seconds if they did fight again. And I dare say if these two fought again, Francis isn't going to take him out of there in 26 seconds. You know, it just ain't going to happen. But that's just the way it went down.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I hope that Cain doesn't have any sort of serious injury. I hope he can bounce back very quickly because I'm a huge fan of his. I mean, just such a badass fighter. And when he's there and when he's healthy and ready to go, he's a monster. It just seems like, you know, I don't want to say it seems like his best days are behind him, but it's just hard. It seems like he just keeps on getting injured, and I think that that's sort of telling us to sort of where his body's at.
Well, of course, I mean, I'm not saying his best days are behind him either, but you've got to think, you know, he's been very injury prone throughout his career. You know, is he going to get less injury prone as he gets older? No, it's the opposite way. As you start getting older, the injuries become more frequent. So if he's torn his knee and he needs surgery, then that's possibly another year out after just having fucking 3 away. That could almost be the end of his career. I'm not saying it is, and I certainly don't wish that. I want to see him back in there, but it's really unfortunate for the guy. It is. So anyway, congrats to Francis Ngannou. Let's talk about that because it was incredible. It's incredible what he did to Curtis Blades. Incredible what he did to Alistair Overeem. The fight against Derrick Lewis was one of the worst fights, if not the worst heavyweight fight you will ever fucking see. And he didn't do too well against Stipe, but he seemed to have learned from those losses, and he's come back a better guy, a better fighter. And I want to see him fight for the title soon. I mean, I'm interested now. Could he do that to DC? DC said on SportsCenter that wouldn't happen. He said he would beat Francis Ngannou. But if I'm DC, it's kind of like Rocky in Rocky 5. It's like, you did that to him. Why don't you try doing that to me? You know, in the bar at the end.
Yeah. I love that scene, by the way.
Yeah.
That's one of the most inspirational scenes. It's Paulie, Tommy Gunn.
Paulie.
Yeah, Tommy Gunn punches Paulie. He's like, you're a piece of shit. You know that? We brought you in. Rocky gave you his heart, and then fucking Tommy hits him. Oh, it's great. People hate Rocky 5. It's literally one of my favorite movies.
Rocky 5 is awesome. I love it. You know,
Yeah.
they hated it. I love all the Rocky movies. I haven't seen the new Creed though. Is it any good? Any idea?
Yeah, yeah, I liked it. It's fine. It was good. Both the new Creeds are pretty decent. They're good movies. It's just they don't compare to the original Rockies. You're never going to be able to.
Yeah.
There, that's the scene. Beautiful.
Here we are. Here he is. Tommy Gunn walks into the shithole. There's the manager. Touch me and I'll sue.
You can turn the
Can we
volume
get
up now.
volume
We
on
can
this?
hear this now.
Asking me if I want to throw hands with you? Is that what this is about?
Yeah, that's what it's about. And I ain't nobody's robot. Nobody's boy.
Yeah.
Now you accepting the challenge?
Nobody's.
Or you yellow?
He has no class. Come on, Rob. Hey,
This is
there's
a
no
little
class.
early.
Come on.
He follows him in now. It's okay. Don't skip it on. Don't skip it on, Harrington. You made a fool of us. Now embrace it. This pub here looks like the pub I was in Brooklyn the other week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, some ghetto
A real-
little.
Yeah, a real shithole.
Hey, look, Tommy, I ain't got no more to say to you, okay?
That's great.
Look, I just want good things for you.
Oh, yeah, you did. Man, you're only in this for the money.
Money?
Yeah, I'm tired of walking around in your shadow, man. People call me your robot.
You thought I was in this for the money, Tommy? You know, we were supposed to be like brothers. You don't remember that? You don't know this, but you got a deception going here. This guy here, he was using you for the bait.
Jesus
he wants
Christ,
to get you and me
Harrington.
in the ring.
All right.
That's what he wants us to fight each other, you know? To make the money, right?
Stop. What are we doing? Watching the entire Rocky movie? Or
He coulda went right
are you gonna
there.
show like the exact spot? Oh yeah, I have the bit you're talking about. Not the 10 minutes leading into it prior. This is a podcast.
the opening
We have
credits.
to talk. We can't just show Rocky as the podcast. You know what I mean? Hey guys, great show for you today. It's called The Godfather. Roll tape.
Harrington, you fucking
Word,
stink.
Harrington. Okay.
boy.
Anyway, so that went definitely off the deep end now. We're
the
fucking
rails.
just showing the Rocky movie. Off the rails. What do we expect?
So look, well, let's we could wrap up the conversation on Ngganou and Cain if you'd like, because
No. No, we will wrap it up. I want to see him fight for the title. I think there's a great storyline there. Can DC come in and get one back for the team, all that type of stuff. It's kind of personal now for them too. Whereas what they're going to do, Stipe, the rematch, okay, fair enough. Derrick Lewis, I mean, he's knocking on the door as well. I don't really want to see Ngannou fight Stipe again or Derrick Lewis again. I've seen those and I don't really want to see it. I'd like to see him face DC for the belt, and two big knockouts like that, it kind of deserves it. There you go. Let's move on.
is there anybody else at heavyweight? Who else is
heavyweight?
there? I mean, obviously there's always the looming idea of Brock Lesnar coming back. But who else is the big guy that's coming in at heavyweight right now? You sort of need to do these fights. Heavyweight's in sort of a weird position again. It's never been great in the UFC, and it's just not really like a super deep division. So as soon as you get two big knockout wins against a former champion, former legend like Cain Velasquez, future Hall of Famer, there's almost nothing else you can do except give him the title shot. The storyline is there.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. And he's super marketable, dude. He looks like he should be on the cover of like a fitness magazine. He's so athletic and muscular and huge. And he has a style that any
With a
given
massive
Sunday.
dong.
Huge dick.
Yeah, huge. No, you're absolutely right. And listen, if you're a DC, of course you want the Brock Lesnar fight, okay? And he's been very open about that, but we don't know if that's going to happen. And there it is. I don't know whether that's a mobile phone in his pocket, his wallet, or he's
If you squint, if you squint, it looks like Mighty Mouse's arm is going through him and his hand is coming through his dick. It doesn't kind of like just kind
Yeah.
it looks
It
like
does, but we've done this. We've done this before on this show.
Look at his dick?
We don't need 2 episodes where we need to break down this picture. This exact picture was the one. No, I was going to say, if you're DC, you want the Brock Lesnar fight. But if that doesn't happen, this is the next best option. Because now you got the backstory. He went out, he beat your boy, he beat Cain Velasquez, and now he's trying to step in and save face of AKA, get revenge for his friend and all the rest of it. So there is some backstory now. So if I'm DC, I'll say, okay, let's do Francis Ngannou, But all right, let's take a quick second to hear from HeshiSocks.com, HESHI socks.com. Listen, Lewis, these socks are incredible. They're very, very comfortable. And they're comfortable for a reason, because there's a lot of science going into these socks, which actually sounds crazy, but they have an arch support in the center of the foot. They're made with high-end Pima cotton, highly breathable and absorbent if your feet smell. They are antimicrobial, kill bacteria, and keep your feet from stinking. And of course, they're offered in a variety of styles, basic, fashion, and we've got great deals for you. I wear these all the time. They sent me a huge box full of them, and I thank you so much. They're super comfortable, and as I just said, they come in a variety of brands, Lewis. And I know. If there's one thing that gets you going, it's a good pair of socks.
They really do. You sound like you're kidding when you say that, but I really mean it, dude. They have really cool styles. Them being comfortable is the most important thing. I wear boots a lot. I wear like combat boots, and my feet start to hurt at the end of the day. I'm telling you right, the Heshy socks make my feet so much more comfortable, and they're really just like a cool brand with really cool stuff. I was giving these out to everybody for Christmas this year because they're a really nice, cool, amazing gift.
The thing that I like about these, Lewis, I know you were going to get into the offer there, is that they are so comfortable. I hate it. I get home after a long day, I take my shoes off, and then you take your socks off, and the socks are just like digging into your ankles. You know what I mean? They're far too tight. These are by far the comfiest socks I've ever tried on, that I've ever worn. And if you get involved and you take advantage of the offer that Lewis is going to tell you right now, you will not be disappointed.
You go to HeshySocks.com. That is HESHISOCKS.com. And if you use the promo code BELIEVE30, you save 30% off. 1/3 off your socks. Grab a whole bunch of them. It's a really, really great deal. 30% off your socks at HeshySocks.com. Just make sure you use that promo code BELIEVE30. All right, let's get back into it.
What are the fights? Do you want to talk about Kron Gracie?
Yeah, I watched that one as well. That's the only other fight I actually watched. I watched it after the fact. Really, really impressive performance. He was able to tie up Alex Caceres pretty quickly. 4 punches thrown, I believe, throughout the entire fight. And you know, just slowly, when you watch a snake like wrap itself around like a rabbit or a rat and just slowly like suffocate it, that's what it looked like. It was just kind of a slow process. It looks like Alex Caceres could just do nothing about it. There was no option. There was no getting out. Here you have some footage right here from it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Royce Gracie and the Gracie family. Renzo Gracie's awesome. So I love to see a young Gracie come in and restore the family name in MMA.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, yes, of course, that's cool. I mean, the Gracies have a long, steep history in mixed martial arts, obviously in jiu-jitsu as well. And if it wasn't for the Gracie family, you know, the UFC may not exist to this day. So, of course, respect is due and given. Kron Gracie is, or Kron, whichever it is, Kron, I believe. He, you know, like anyone trying to get into MMA, can box a little bit, but he's all about the jiu-jitsu, make no mistake. And he was taking on Alex Caceres. Well, he took on Alex Caceres. And Caceres, in my opinion, you know, should almost get the shame bell this morning. He should almost get the shame bell for allowing that to go down the way it did. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm going to shame that motherfucker for getting tapped out by a Gracie. Shame.
What else is he going to do? He had no option. It's not like he fucked up and said it. He didn't train.
He did. He did. Shh. Let me talk.
Let me hear it.
Let the big boy explain he fucked up. Right, Alex Caceres, Mr. Jump around the fucking octagon, Mr. Afro haircut, Mr. fucking growing his own Brussels sprouts, the ultimate fucking hipster in his garden, and all this fucking shit, right? Stop trying to pirouette your way all over the fucking octagon, okay? I said it when he fought Yair Rodriguez. Everybody was like, wow, this fight was incredible. You see them both? It looked like fucking Cirque du Soleil, okay? We're not there to jump around and try and emulate our favorite Bruce Lee movie. We're there to fight, okay? And at some point, you're going to throw some fundamentals. And by fundamentals, I mean a solid jab. Okay, if you're fighting somebody that you are much taller than, that you have way more experience than, that have better footwork and striking prowess, right? Dance around the fucking octagon and make that no striking motherfucker. Anytime he walks near you, bang, stick that lead jab in his face, bust him up, wear him down, circle, bang, bang, jab, 1, 2. Keep doing that until he's bust up and his nose is bloody and he can't breathe through it. And then in rounds 2 and 3, when he's tired and now he's starting to have that self-doubt creeping, now you can start pirouetting and looking for your fucking triple spinning back kicks through the air. You know what I mean? You do not present your back, right? He overcommitted. He was being a...
Can we see it again? I would love to see exactly kind of your breakdown.
on this occasion, he kind of slipped a punch and got the back.
Yeah. So yeah, they're throwing a few punches.
Throwing punches here again. Harrington with the real good rewind. We're watching the whole fight, the walk-ins, the cornerman, Bruce Buffer going here. We just wanted the finishing sequence, but it's okay.
Well,
now we got the count. It's the countdown show. Yeah. So, I mean, that was actually nice, but he was throwing a lot of kicks prior to that. He was throwing kicks and this and that. The game plan wasn't correct, and I'm joking when I say he almost gets the shame bell. Of course I am, much respect to Alex Caceres as well, and if Kron Gracie gets his arms on you like that, by all accounts, you're in a lot of trouble. He's now 5-0 in MMA. He's got a very, very prestigious jiu-jitsu resume on his resume. So yeah, I mean, that's what he does. So that's why you got to know, don't take any risks. You don't fuck around with someone that's one trick pony. Is get your hands on you and try and choke you out. So the game plan could have been a little better. The movement could have been better. The anticipation could have been more better. The anticipation that he was going to grab you and try and clinch you and take you down, So, yeah, hey, listen, well done, Kron Gracie, though. That's the way you do it, especially from a jiu-jitsu standpoint. They call it the gentle art. He went in there. He didn't get punched in the face, didn't take any damage, and he choked him out. And both of those guys went home without a mark on them. So, I mean, from Gracie's standpoint, perfect, flawless performance.
I feel like Alex Caceres is he really got the marketing down before he got anything else down. Like his look is so cool, and he's Bruce Leroy, and his swagger is great, and he looked like he was gonna, when he was on the Ultimate Fighter, it looked like he was gonna be like a real did he win the Ultimate Fighter?
What was that guy? What was that game? Was it Tekken? And it had the Eddie
Gordo,
the big afro.
Tekken
yeah,
tag,
was that Tekken?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks just like him. That's what I thought when I saw him. Oh shit, here we go. We got a real life Tekken guy. But
he seems to lose it in those bigger fights, or really all of them. I mean, how much has he won any really big fights? Did he win the Ultimate Fighter or no? No, he didn't.
He lost to Michael Johnson.
No.
Yeah. So but yeah, I'm very excited to see Kron Gracie. We'll see what happens. It's not really, I don't look at that performance as like, oh my God, this is it. He just beat Alex Caceres. You have to
for sure, absolutely, and I think Caceres, I might be wrong, but I think he's now on a 4-fight losing streak or something like that. He's been racking up a few losses, so it was a good entry-level point fight for Gracie. Of course, you don't want to throw him to the sharks, and this is kind of prove to the UFC that maybe they should get behind him and market him. Can you do this? Can you compete against UFC guys? Can you use your tools, the jiu-jitsu, against a well-rounded, experienced martial artist? And the answer is he can. We saw that first round submission. So it's going to be interesting to see who they match Gracie up with next. Of course, he has that name power, brings a lot of recognition, as I said. So are they going to throw him to the wolves? Are they going to throw him at the deep end? So I
think they do that a lot, though. When they bring in young bucks that have a name, it seems like they try to push him along kind of quickly. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they gave him a pretty big fight in his next fight.
CM Punk.
Maybe. Why not?
His next fight was Mike Jackson. They do not throw people with a name to the wolves like that, Lewis. They try and build them.
No. Oh, I get what you're saying.
You have your business empire over there in New York, right? Okay. Good. But over here, the businesses are run a little different. If you have a star, you don't throw them to the wolves and try and have them beaten, in the real world. Then you try and nurture that star and get them some experience as they go along, and you give them credible matchups, but ones that are going to test them, but hopefully they should be able to pass. And if they pass, then they move up a level. That's the way it should go anyway with most sports, if you have a good manager. Now, the fighter wants to say, no, fuck that. Give me the hardest person possible. But that's why managers are there, to protect the fighters from themselves. Well,
it's not even the hardest person possible. It's almost like they want to get these guys over, and they know that you could lose against a guy who's just coming up, another young buck that's super hungry. So you see some of these guys that they push, and we've seen it happen. Sage Northcutt is a guy that they started pushing very quickly because they wanted to make him a star.
Well, Sage Northcutt, obviously they put him up against Bryan Barberena. And Bryan Barberena fought on Sunday night against Vincente Luque.
People are talking about this fight. It was great, right?
Dude, it was incredible. I mean, Barberena, as I say, he did the, I think it was a head and arm choke to Sage Northcutt, and a lot of people saying that Sage Northcutt shouldn't have tapped because the choke wasn't in properly, and Barberena was still in half guard and all the rest of it. But that was the first I'd seen of Barberena. And since then, I've seen a couple of his fights. He's doing pretty well in the UFC. But this fight on Saturday night against Vincente Luque is a killer. He's a very, very good fighter. He's finished, I think it's all 8 of his victories in the UFC have all been stoppages. So, I mean, the guy's legit. And Barberena went out there and it was an absolute slugfest. They stood toe-to-toe, punched each other in the face. They didn't care. It was a really, really gutsy performance from both of them. Ultimately, Barberena got stopped in the 3rd round, just a few seconds away from the end of the fight. But both of those guys, they got fight of the night.
That's awesome.
Luque and Barberena. Yeah, they put on a hell of a show for the fans. So that was great.
Real quick, I got to say, if you guys love the show, every episode we've ever done of this show is available at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Make sure you use the promo code BYM and you get yourself a 14-day free trial. Save a couple bucks per month if you decide to keep the membership. You receive each episode with pre-release 24 hours before they go anywhere else, uncensored and ad-free. Of course, you guys can get the latest 15 episodes on YouTube and iTunes. Make sure as well, if you go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. The latest 15 episodes are available in SD. So right now, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us some comments. We love reading positive comments and feedback. All right.
I feel like we've got to talk about the co-main event a little bit. Pual Felder versus James Vick. Pardon me. I know you didn't see that one either, Lewis, but that was a great fight. But the main thing I want to talk about is, congratulations to Pual Felder. The job well done. But unusual injury time. He went to hospital for a punctured lung, Lewis.
Whoa, what?
Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I
after
did not
the
know
fight,
that.
He even came up to the ESPN desk and was sitting there and he did an interview and he said he's a little sore. And obviously he's been in a fight. He's wearing the marks on his face, and it was a war. Both guys, Vick and Felder, well done again. But then shortly afterwards, we're in the car driving back to the hotel and this is all over the internet now. He was having problems, went to the hospital, punctured lung.
Broken rib?
I don't know. No, I don't know if there's a broken rib, just a punctured lung, but maybe the rib punctured it.
Or
they're saying it was a collapsed lung.
Collapsed lung, not punctured. Okay. Oh my God, that sounds so. I don't know why. It just sounds awful. I have no idea. I can't give you any sort of gauge as to how painful that is. I have no idea. But that just sounds brutal. Just fucking brutal, dude.
I've never punctured a lung, so I've got no
Pual Felders
point of reference.
A collapsed lung in the closing minutes of his fight against James Vick. Last night, his manager, Bryan told ESPN doctors believe the lung was punctured when he took a shot to the ribs at the end of the 3rd round. He's being held an extra day at a local Phoenix hospital for observation.
Yeah.
He's been forced to pull out of his color analyst thing. All right. Yeah, dude,
that's
that
a shame.
Sucks. Yeah, it's
no, it really does.
It's a really dangerous sport, and I think it's sort of downplayed. You've been able to break it down time and time again, but you don't really see too much after. Like, that fight comes and goes. Even you hear about the injury, it's just out of sight, out of mind. You look onto the next thing, you're like, what's the big news with Conor, right? But this dude is like in the hospital, probably going to have issues breathing for a while now, much less training. And that whole process is sort of lost on you. It's definitely out of sight and out of mind. There's not really much of a spotlight shined on that after process and sort of the injuries that you have to deal with after a fight.
No, for sure. Exactly. And this is what I always say. I mean, people, they see the glamour side of it. They see the bright lights, the big paychecks. It's on TV and they think, wow, I want to do this. The reality is that it can be very dangerous, very painful, give you life-lasting injuries, and it's not to be taken lightly. It's funny, and I'm not trying to, it was a funny interaction considering that we're talking about injuries. Remember Kat Zingano, she got a toe in the eye recently, and it scratched her cornea. And I'm walking through the hotel last week, and I bumped into Kat Zingano. I'm like, hey, Kat, how you doing? She's a lovely girl, by the way. I'm not talking shit. And she's like asking me about eye injuries. Like her little abrased, scratched cornea is in the same level of my multiple detached retinas and glaucoma and blindness. I'm like, you're going to be okay. You got a little scratch. She's like, but when can I start training again? I'm like, probably now. You look fine. Okay. You're going to live. Okay. Stop wearing the eye patch. You don't need it. And you'll be okay. But on a scale of 1 to 10 on the sympathy, don't get me started. What the fuck's sake? Really? Don't put me in the same bracket as you. All right. Shit. I'm joking.
I get how one time I poked myself in the eye. I understand. I know what it's like to walk a mile in Michael Bisping's shoes.
No, you live dangerous, man. You know about the MMA world. You've been there. We've talked about this many times.
Hey, Mike, really quick. I got to tell you right now, I'm so happy we have these guys as a sponsor on the show. It's People's Choice Beef Jerky. I know they sent you a bunch. How great is it?
Ooh, oh my word. Trust me. I love beef jerky. I really do. But this is by far the best one I've ever had. Now, of course, listen, we're supposed to say that. They're an advertiser on our show. But I am telling you, with every ounce of truth and honesty that I can give you, this is the best beef jerky I've ever had. It's high quality. It's not pumped full of all preservatives and crap. It is homemade beef jerky. They've been in business for 85 years. And you can taste the quality, Louis. Yeah. You really can.
It's made in small batches by hand. It's not like when you go to like a 7-Eleven or some gas station, you buy jerky. Look, it's a great healthy snack. It's low carb usually. It's high protein. It's great after a workout, but the reality is it just doesn't taste that good. And that's the difference here, okay? You get a great snack that tastes really, really good. I'm getting back in shape right now. Mr. Bisping, you're constantly thinking about the way you look for the camera because you're Mr. Hollywood now. This is a great, great treat if you guys especially are trying to be healthy or not. It tastes good regardless. Even when I'm not in shape, I love eating beef jerky. So
no. Well, I said it last time. Whenever I'm on the road and I got to stop at a gas station, beef jerky is always my go-to. But if you want to get real beef jerky with real beef and no additives, no preservatives, made from a family business that have been in business for 85 years, and you will not be disappointed, you can taste the difference, then I guess you better take advantage of this incredible offer. Go to peopleschoicebeefjerky.com. peopleschoicebeefjerky.com. Use the promo code BYM15. You're going to get 15% off. Here's what I recommend you do. Go to peopleschoicebeefjerky.com. Order a lot of it. Get it all in. Have it in your house, and you got nice, healthy, low-carb, low-fat, high-protein snacks on the go all the time. Use the code BYM15. 15% off. You can thank me later. Okay. Let's get back into it. What else is on your mind, Lewis, outside of the fighting world? Anything in particular that's
two things are on my
fun
mind
we want to talk about?
All right, two things are on my mind. Number one, I just got a phone call from my agent. I don't know if you noticed, like 5 minutes ago, I just I kind of shut down and got in almost like a weird mood for a second because I just realized I forgot about an audition today at noon that I was supposed to go to, and I just didn't go.
Yeah, that's not good. I have that with my agent all the time because sometimes, God bless him, he listens to the show as well. He does a great job and he works his ass off for me. But a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, sometimes, should I say, I get auditions and they literally say in the thing, we are looking for a huge guy reminiscent of the Mountain from Game of Thrones, right? And I'm like, I'm not a small guy. I'm like on the larger side when it comes to men, but I'm far from a gigantic man. Yeah. I am certainly do not fit the description as somebody like the Mountain from Game of Thrones. It's like, listen, I'll do the audition, but that means I got to drive all the way into LA, which should be a 2-hour drive back and maybe a 3-hour drive back if I hit rush hour traffic for a show or an audition that I'm not going to get because the reality is I'm just not that guy. And they're like, well, you don't get every part you don't try out for. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I go and do it. And I'm like, what did they say? They're looking for someone bigger. And I'm like, see, I knew it.
It's just bumming me out right now. It's really like, I have to call my agent and be like, dude, I'm sorry. I just forgot. I was traveling yesterday. It was, I don't even know, some fucking TV show. I was traveling all day yesterday. My flight was delayed almost 3 hours. I just wasn't thinking to prepare. I was supposed to come home and prepare yesterday afternoon.
Lewis, you need better organization in your life.
I have ADD.
How hot? No. Listen, I didn't go to a doctor and get a fancy diagnosis like yourself. I just dealt with it the old school way. Just get shit done and stop being a little moaner. All you got to do is put it in your phone. Put it in your calendar on your phone.
Oh,
boom,
is that it?
You'll get it. You get a notification. You get a little reminder.
This is what cocksuckers that don't actually have ADD say. Everyone has ADD. if I could just remember to
Bro,
put it
you
in my
think I-
phone.
You think I don't have fucking ADD?
Not like I have it.
Christ. Well, I don't know, and I'm not trying to have a conversation about it, but like it's a very trendy thing. Oh God, my ADD, bro. It's like, no, you're just a forgetful.
It's not
asshole.
trendy. It's a fucking disease. It's an affliction. It's not trendy for me. It's not fun. It's not a bag. It's horrible. It's a bane of my existence.
It's an excuse, okay? It's an excuse for forgetting things, for being. Listen, hey, I could give myself labels all day long. You know what I mean? But the reality is, if you don't show up and you forget, that's on you. You can't say, I have ADD, so therefore I didn't show up. I say, well, yeah, sucks to be you, bro.
No, you're right about that. And believe me, I make no excuses. I'm saying that I am not dealing with my ADD the right way. It's not about, there's not like, nobody should feel bad for me. It's everything. Like, look, you have a bum fucking knee right now. You have, if you don't if you don't give yourself an extra 5 minutes to get somewhere, that's your fault. You got a fucking bum knee. So
I get myself there. I have a bad knee. I have many, many injuries and demons that I have to exercise on a daily basis, Lewis. But it's like I saw an Instagram post from Will Smith, and he was talking. Who, by the way, is a very good follow on Instagram. I wouldn't go that far, but he's a very good follow. He's, because a lot of people on Instagram, they love to give these inspirational fucking quotes, and I'm like, who are you to lecture me on anything? Shut the hell up. Your life's a mess. But to be fair, Will Smith has got a bit of a high horse to stand on. I mean, he has been there, done it, and had a very successful career, so he can give advice. And I remember once he was talking about how things that have happened to you aren't your fault, but it's your responsibility to deal with them in a certain way. Like if you were abused as a child, all right, okay, so you were dealt a shitty hand, but you can choose to be a victim or try and use that as fuel or whatever to make your life better. You can't sit around and say, well, I'm an alcoholic because I was abused as a child. So, well, that is really sad. And I'll never take that away. That is really sad. But what are you going to do? Are you going to continue drinking and your life go nowhere? Are you going to try and deal with this? Of course, it's not as easy as that. There's a lot of mental things going on, or whatever the cases may be. Well, every individual case has its own merits, but still, you got to say, okay, it's my responsibility to deal with this.
Well, there's
like
a certain
your ADD.
Well, I mean, look, that's a philosophy in life that I live by. I mean, you're dealt a certain hand of cards, and it's how you play those cards. There's a great scene in the movie Rounders. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No.
But it's about poker. And, Matt Damon's character, they're talking about, he was like, a lot of people will say that poker's luck, and it's about what cards you're dealt. And it was like, if poker was luck, well, then it wouldn't be the same 8 guys at the last table of the World Series of Poker every year. It's like, how do those 8 guys get there if it's luck? Or is it how you're playing those cards? So that always kind of stood out to me. And it's something that kind of like, and believe me, I'm that guy. I'm the guy who lives by that philosophy in life. I'm just saying what the fuck happened. My ADD kicked in and I forgot about this dumb fucking thing. I'm not going to go to my agent and say, hey, man, come on, let me have it sucks. I'm going to go and be embarrassed and say, sorry, I fucked up. And that's just the way that it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I can't pretend that I don't do the same thing. I forget things. I do that type of stuff all the time. And that's what you got to do. You got to say, shit, you know what? I'm sorry. I forgot. You don't go, ADD, bro.
Come on, man.
I got ADD.
Yeah.
Come on. I get a pass.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, fuck that.
No,
you forgot, which sucks. And you can call it ADD. You can call it being hungover. You can call it being forgetful. Call it having a late night. You can call it, I had the flu and I didn't feel like going. You call it a lot of things.
My mom abused me. I was abused when I was a kid, so I couldn't bring myself to get out of bed on time.
It's your responsibility to deal with it, Lewis. It really is. But yeah, no, that's a shame. That's a shame. We all forget things. What was the part though? Was it something decent?
Yeah, guest star role on some show that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Well,
I just booked guest star on a TV show. I'll be flying to Hawaii soon. But I can't talk about it. So don't ask. You know what I mean? I haven't signed it yet, but I am flying there Sunday to Hawaii. Beautiful Hawaii. So that's fun. That's good. But
I booked my trip to Jamaica today officially.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
How long are you going to be there, Lewis? How long are you going to abandon the podcast for this time?
6 nights, 7 days. We'll be fine. We'll put one in the can. We'll be all right.
So 2 shows potentially that you're canceling. Okay, all right, good to know. Logged. Mental log.
One vacation a year I take, guys. Michael Bisping, world traveler. I mean, I'm talking about like the amount of times that this guy is fucking all over the globe. A globe trotter. We bend, we fucking shift the schedule. I never give him shit. I never say, oh, Michael Bisping, got to change the fucking schedule. No, never in my life.
I am not on vacation. I am
You
not
take
sunning it.
vacations.
No, I do. What was the last vacation I took?
Family
The last
fucking
vacation
trip.
I took to San Francisco. That was it. 3 days
3. Why'd
to
you say it like
California.
that?
3 days to California, okay? In a high-speed internet hotel, okay? Where things are available, where I stayed in touch. We still even did the shows. I am not lording about on vacation, Lewis. I am working my ass off. I'm trying to provide a better family. I've got ADD, bro. I'm trying to do what I can, you know? But I am not disappearing to the white sandy beaches of Jamaica, man.
where did he
sunning
go?
myself, drinking Red Stripe and complaining.
Help me out here,
Thailand?
because he went somewhere recently.
Glamping.
Thailand.
Glamping.
You went
a little bit
glamping.
of snow somewhere.
You went glamping.
I didn't go glamping.
Oh, he didn't
You know
go?
why? We were supposed to go glamping to Montana, and then what happened? I booked a show on Netflix. Work comes first, brother. Work comes first. And I still did the podcast. I was working nights in Rochester on a show called Hyperdrive. It'll be on Netflix soon. Keep an eye out for that. Very, very good show, if I do say so myself. Working nights. Working from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I still did the show at the regular time.
Fine, I'll do the podcast
Louis
while I'm in
Jacob.
Jamaica. I don't care. I'll do it. It's going to
You
be
won't.
Kim bitching
You
in the
won't.
background. I'll do it. You want to
You'll
bet?
be drinking Red Stripe, smoking weed, telling everybody, you know,
I rented-
telling everybody you got ADD. Sorry, I wasn't at the pool at 7 o'clock.
I rented.
ADD.
We're not doing all inclusive this time. We rented a villa, so we have our own private staff. I have a chef that can just make me food at any given point.
So
What is this? What is this?
Whoa.
What is this? Oh, where is that? Oh, is that podcasting? Is that working on a hill right now, or is it
Whoa.
skiing like a rich white person?
listen, for one, I jumped in the car, drove a few hours, and booked a skiing lesson with my family because Lucas wanted to see snow. And in the beautiful climate of Southern California, we don't get that. But if you drive a little bit, you can get it because you go in the mountains. That is not equivalent to taking a fucking vacation, Shannon. Okay? It is not. And I don't care if you got ADD, you haven't got ADD, or whatever the score is. That does not equate. Sitting in the car, dealing with whiny fucking teenagers about the drive being too long, getting the skiing lesson, the skiing instructor not letting you go down the mountain as you like, your teenage daughter saying, fuck this, I can't be bothered, it's too cold, and sulking off the slopes, right? And then driving home the next day after a big argument with your wife.
But look at that
Is
picture.
not a family vacation.
It's so funny because it's so symbolic as to how fake social media is, because none of it was fun for you. But if you just take the moment that you captured for everyone to say, it looks like you guys had the greatest time of your lives.
We had a fantastic time, and I like to lay things on for comedy value, Lewis. We always have a great time, and the kids did bitch a little bit about the drive, but that's what kids do. What was I saying now? What were we talking about? We're going back to something, but no more. Vacations. You're doing well, Lewis. You know, oh, that's what I was going to say. So when I went to Thailand, I did the same thing, right? I thought we won't stay in a hotel. We'll stay in a nice house, which we did. And they had a chef and a driver and all the rest of it. It was all the same person. I thought we'd have a chef. We got the house manager. We got a driver. We got all that. No, it was Anon, who was her name. And she was a miserable cow. And I didn't like her one little bit. And she was the chef. She was the cleaner. She was the driver. She was everything.
Was this the glass
she was
house?
miserable. And the house was made of glass with no air conditioning.
It sounds
You know,
like a
and I don't know
nightmare.
if you've been to Thailand, and I don't know if you know anything about greenhouses. A glass house in the sun with no air conditioning is no fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not trying to say that your trip to Jamaica will be a letdown.
It will not.
I'm just saying it might be.
I know their names.
It might be.
They have them listed, the staff members, and they're different people. They're not the same. We have a maid, we have a cook. We have to plan a menu with. Here's my thing: you plan a menu with the cook. Day one, you go there, you go to the market, they get all the groceries. There's different snacks coming out.
Yes.
Maybe I'm wrong. If
Shannon,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yep.
Get a load of this guy, eh? I mean, how this man has changed.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Lewis, I don't know if you know this, but I grew up poor Gomez, as
I do.
people like to call you on YouTube, is now lording it about with his own chef, his own driver. Yeah, we like to send our staff down to the farmer's market to get the fresh produce at 6
Dougie,
a.m.
I'm going to treat them like they are fucking slaves. You have no idea how bad it's going to be. I'm Puerto Rican. I grew up in fucking garbage. I have nothing. I'm going to just take fucking garbage and throw it at their feet and say, pick it up for me right now, Donovan. Let's smoke a blunt.
I feel terrible for
Donovan
these
sounds like
people.
a white guy.
No, Donovan's a very popular name in Jamaica.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I've never been there, Lewis. I'm not as well traveled as you are.
Why don't you
and I go to Jamaica.
Why don't you and the missus come along? We have a whole villa.
Because there's a little thing called responsibilities. I know you have ADHD, whatever it is. I know you don't know about that, but I can't just drop everything at the drop of a hat. And
I don't have responsibilities.
Let's go to Jamaica.
I run 7 businesses.
I have multiple businesses. Okay,
As
maybe
do
more
I.
than 7.
But
I'm not gonna go through
I'm
them.
on the fucking ground floor. I'm one of the troops. You're Mr. Michael Bisping. You go, oh, cool. I'll have my business manager sign off a check on that. You sit on a fucking throne at the head of your table in your mansion.
Got off a plane. I just got off a plane. So what are you talking about? I was literally there, boots on the ground. I will fly there. I will help the troops. What do you need? What can I do? How can I resolve this problem? I'll give you a solution. Okay, it's not going to be easy, but we're going to get our hands dirty here, guys. That's the type of leader I am, type of boss I am. I don't sit there talking shit about Harrington and then complaining about YouTube comments, okay?
Harrington, I will fire you right now. Don't you ever fucking don't you ever start cheering for Michael Bisping as he talks down to me. Do you see that right there? You can go live in his guest bedroom right now. Be his personal producer. Deal with Harrington.
I didn't see it because his producer was so bad he didn't put the camera on. So had he have been decent, I would have seen. But Harrington, please, your boss has changed. No? Come on.
I just want to know if that's an official invite to live in the Bisping guest house.
Go live in the fucking Bisping mansion and be his personal in-house producer / chef / driver / cleaning lady, and it'll be like it's like a villa at home. And you get to deal with Harrington
outside behind the pool where like all the equipment is to keep the pool warm and the boiler, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know about that stuff. If you know about pools, Harrington, you can go live back there. There's a hammock. We'll get you a towel. We'll get you a blanket at night. I don't know what Lewis is giving to you, but it's a pretty sweet offer. It's going to be warm here in California soon.
Harrington's going to try to be a sexy pool boy. Like, hey, Mrs. Bisping, how are you?
Yeah, cleaning the pool, glistening in what appears to be oil, but it's grease emanating from his pores.
Fucking chicken grease all over his chest.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
What can I do you for?
Oh, shit.
Oh, my word. So today's going to be a shorter show, everybody. We do apologize. We're going to wrap this one up in a second. But we'll be back later in the week with a fuller one. We've got busy schedules. As we just said, we own multiple businesses. We've got things to do. I've got a conference call with the UFC. So unfortunately, today's just a shorter one. We hope you liked it. Go to iTunes, leave a comment, subscription, all that type of stuff. And on YouTube, tell your friends. What should we leave them with, Lewis? Any pearls of wisdom, nuggets of information, jokes, anything into entertaining, please.
All right, we'll do a joke. We'll do one of my favorite jokes from when I was a kid. How about that?
All right, you tell me a good joke.
Okay, they're all racist. Holy shit.
That's the problem. See, I have some as well, but they are all racist.
Give me your best racist joke. You didn't make it up. You can say a racist joke. That's okay.
No. Why do Jews like watching pornos backwards in rewind?
Why?
Because they like seeing the prostitute give the money back to the man.
That's funny.
All right, fuck off.
All
right, well, you give me one then. Oh, come on then, Mr. Comedian. Mr. I'm hilarious. I've got a lot, but I'm not saying them on here. They're offensive. Mainly to Irish people. And my mum's Irish. There's a lot of jokes there.
What an English way of racism. Be like, yeah, I know a racist joke. It's about Irish people. Like, what? It's not racism, okay?
Did you hear about the Irish newspaper shop?
No, what?
It blew away. Did you hear about the Irish shoplifter?
Oh, that was pretty good. This also works with Polish. So are Irish people
Found
dumb?
dead under Tesco's.
Are
you don't know.
Are Irish people dumb? Is that what it is? That's the rumor.
I don't know if they're dumb. They're probably smarter than me. So it's a joke before you won't fucking start. Yeah, probably smarter than me. But
we would do that about Polish people. It's like, how did the Polish submarine sink?
How?
Someone left the screen door open.
Well, you know, I'm actually Polish, so I'm hugely offended now.
Well,
my ancestry is Polish, and how dare you? How dare you? It's okay if I say it about the Irish, but if you say it about the Polish, Lewis, and my mom's Irish, by the way, then
a black guy, Puerto Rican, and a Mexican guy are in a car. Who's driving?
Black guy, Puerto Rican,
and a Mexican are in a car. Who's driving?
In a car. Go on.
The police.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. It's like, what do you call a scouser in a suit? Oh, no. I forget what it is. He's going to court. Anyway, that's the joke. But all right. Well, that's terrible. If that's your best joke as a comedian,
not the best.
Then your career is over.
It's not my
over.
Fucking joke. I have an hour special that's coming out April 1st that people can purchase. Louis J. Gomez presents Louis J. Gomez. So they can get those jokes. Those are good jokes.
Louis J. Gomez presents Louis J. Gomez. There's never been a twattier special. Never been a twattier named special.
You don't
ever.
get it. You don't get it. You don't have to. It's actually making fun of the fact that Amy Schumer does all these specials. Like Amy Schumer presents this guy, or Kevin Hart presents this guy. So it's me sort of thumbing my nose at them, Mr. Bisping.
Yeah. Well. That's a nice excuse for you to say that. The reality is you just love mentioning Louis J. Gomez twice in the title. That's the reality. But you're going to fall it. You're going to drop it back saying, oh, no, I'm just making fun of Amy Schumer. But realistically, I'm letting you know it's fucking Louis J. Gomez, not Louis Gomez. It's Louis J. Gomez presents Louis J. Gomez by Louis J. Gomez, written by Louis J. Gomez, presented by Louis J. Gomez, produced by Louis J. Gomez. I mean, did Harrington help? No. At all. Did Harrington help?
Not at all.
No mention of Harrington. Shannon, Gas Digital Studios, Ralph.
Gas Digital,
no one gets a
Ralph,
mention.
Of course they do.
Nobody gets a mention. It's all Louis J. Gomez. One-man band, one-man show. March 10th. Check him out. His tickets on sale. Toronto.
The Louis J. Gomez show in Toronto.
We get there and it's been totally rebranded. I'm hosting it for Louis. He's like, yeah, it's my show now, motherfucker.
I like it.
Deal with it.
Idea. It's a good show. All right, let's wrap it.
We'll wrap it. We'll be back Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, but keep an eye on all the channels. We will be popping up real soon. Have a good one. Talk to you then.